There's already people here. There's already people here commenting. I can't believe it. Hi, Colin Remington. This is me. This is Mike Mozart, Jeepers Media, Toy Channel on YouTube. It's strange because the camera is on this side. I'm on an iPhone 7 Plus. So the camera's on this side. However, the comments are on this side. Hey, everybody. I know it's been a long time. I'm really alive. The comments are going by very fast. Is my hat in reverse? Are you getting a mirror image of my hat? Yes, I'm alive. Hi, everybody. Over 100 people. I know it's been a long time. The comments are going by extremely fast and it's very difficult to see them. I'm going to start toy reviews again. That's right. Oh, and you haven't seen me in a while. I've grown my beard out. Yes, I got a great big beard. Yes, and I'm going to, oh, thanks for loving the beard. The comments are going by. I'm really trying to see them. Yes, I'm alive. I'm going to start doing toy reviews again. Both the failed toy reviews. Yeah, but is the hat backwards? Is this backwards in your viewfinder? This is my first time on YouTube Live in 2 years. Oh, thanks so much, guys. Look at all the fans. 200 live viewers. Oh, I know you miss me. You can see it, but you can see it clearly. You could read what it says. I'm on Instagram as Mike Mozart. I have a lot there, and I'm going to explain what happened. And if you would share that I'm live here with some of your friends and say, guess what? He's alive. The famous toy reviewer is back from the dead. You know, I'd really appreciate it if you'd do that. It would be really great. I'll tell you the whole story of where I've been and everything. And it's not mirrored. Oh, that's great. Yes, I am Mimo. My beard grows very large. I'm trying to get back to get an idea. It's always been like this. But what's interesting is up until a few years ago, oh, look at all these kind comments coming in. Up until a few years ago, if you had a big beard like this, you were either homeless or a hippie. And they were so out of date, so out of style. Nobody wanted to see anyone with a beard.
Shit, I'm sorry.
I know, the thing's offset now. Just go.
Oh my God. Really?
No.
Is that it?
No, here. Hi, yeah, I'm sorry. Coco Pup passed away. My beautiful black lab who appeared on all ends of my videos, she passed away about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. And I really, really miss her a lot. Actually, sometimes I hate to even talk about her life because I'll cry too. It's really bad. She was the greatest dog ever. I still have my other dog though called Spunky. Spunky's still alive. Quite old, but she's a great dog. I will I'll sit down, I'll tell you what's happened to me, and I will be doing a lot of live shows. And if you notice there's all these paintings, you know, for years before I did YouTube toy reviews, I was an illustrator and painter of mostly children's books and kids' toys. And I did it for many years. And I'm going to tell you what's happened to me, if you'd all like to listen. And I will, here, let me pull up a chair. I'll be right back. Let me get something to sit on. I think I'm going to need it here. Just a minute. And I'm going to get a bottle of water next to me because I'll get a little long-winded, I think. My bottle of water isn't here. Here's one. And I'm going to see if I can put this tripod down a little bit. I'll see what happens. I don't know how easy it's going to go down, but let's see if it cranks down. And I will tell you the story. I have a lot of stories right now, and I'm going to be... The only reason I can't shout out anyone right now is the comments are going by too fast. They're going by really, really fast. And I am going to be doing live shows on younow.com because YouNow doesn't get the traffic I'll get here. And I would really enjoy talking to my fans a lot more. And I'm going to be doing live drawings and paintings, as well as toy reviews. I'll be doing a lot of toy reviews. Again, I'm really looking forward to that again. I mean, really. What was I thinking being away so long? So what's happened to Mike Mozart? What happened to me? I've had a very busy life. And my whole life has been busy. But I'm going to give you a little backstory. I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory. I hope you don't mind. This is going to be very interesting. And one of the reasons I'm live now is I miss you guys so much. I was one of the first YouTubers on YouTube in 2005. When YouTube first started. It opened as a beta in 2005, and it looked like nothing. I was one of the early adopters that thought, hey, I want to do this. And I have a lot more YouTube channels you guys don't know about, because I turned them off early on because they were different. What I was trying to do is I had a channel that taught people how to design and create toys, which doesn't exist right now. I might make it public again so you can see it. And there was another channel I had showing people how to draw and paint, like Bob Ross. But the toy reviews is what took off. Everyone wanted the toy reviews. And I'm going to make a lot of old stuff public again. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I would really like you to see it. So, but what happened is, now here's the whole story. Who wants to hear the story? This is the tale of what happened to me. I started my whole career when I was young. When I was 15 years old, I was lucky. I grew this beard. See this big beard? I grew that when I was 15 years old. And back when I was 15 years old, kids didn't grow beards like that. I mean, I had a beard when I was 13. By the time I was 15, I looked like Sasquatch. Okay, now there's more to this story. It's kind of interesting. My beard grows way up here, and my beard grows in all the way up here, solid, almost to my eyes. And I grow in huge unibrow, and I have eyebrows that are this tall. My eyebrows are like that tall. I shave my eyebrows and my forehead so I don't look like a Sasquatch. So here I am, 15 years old, and I'm looking like I'm 30 because of this giant beard. And I was a very talented artist, and I wanted to go to New York City, and I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to see if I can get artwork jobs. 15 years old. I got my learner's permit. You get a learner's permit at 15. And I went to New York City. Very exciting time in my life. Wow. And all the art directors thought I was a lot older because this great big fuzzy beard made it look like I was a lot older than I was. So I started getting children's book illustration jobs, mostly Disney books. I was doing a lot of coloring books and comic books and things like that. From art directors that thought I was at least in my mid-20s. Okay, at least in my mid-20s. And I'm going to be doing more toy reviews. Anyone coming here right now, please hang out with me for a few minutes. I really appreciate it if you hear my bizarre story of what's happened in my life and my life recently. Why did I disappear from YouTube? It's a whole story they're all going to be fascinated about. Okay? I think you're going to enjoy this. So I started illustrating kids' books. And in my career, I did over 100 kids' books. I did Disney titles, hardcovers. I did Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck. I did everything. Did a lot of DuckTales. That's why there's paintings. These are my paintings behind me, paintings I'm working on. And I had painted thousands of paintings for kids' books, toys. Did a lot of toy design for Coleco, which had Cabbage Patch Kids. But they had Rambo toys. I did artwork for Rambo toys, and I did art for Care Bears and Wuzzles and My Little Pony and all these licensed products from back in the day. Now I look different because my beard's grown out. That's why. So I was one of the top artists in the country. And what happened is around 1996, a terrible thing happened to Mike Mozart in 1996. Toy Story came out. The Toy Story movie. And the art directors didn't want beautiful paintings that came from paint from a brush onto a canvas or a picture like this. They wanted CGI. They wanted paintings that were done in a computer in pixels. And I was instantly outdated. I was shelved. And by 2001, nobody wanted that type of illustration. So what I did is I really focused. Oh, hi, okay, I'm 58. I just noticed I'm going by. It's an old fan of mine. So I was Sheriff Woody, and all the people doing CGI art were Buzz Lightyear. I didn't despair. I started doing a lot of infomercial products. Now, infomercials are ones that sell on television or you sell on QVC or the Home Shopping Network. All the years I did all my toy reviews, I never told anyone the toys I did because I didn't want trolls to go to my existing toys that were still on the market and downvote them on like Amazon.com and ePinions and all those places. Oh my God, hi Fuji. All my fans are here too. So many great fans. So, as the early 2000s, late 1999 to early 2000, I was so depressed I wasn't doing artwork anymore. I was designing toys, which involved drawing, and I was doing infomercial products, and I used to appear on TV commercials. Now, some of those are on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, Mike Mozart, all one word on Instagram, some of my latest posts are actually videos of products I designed as infomercials. One of them is a Crayola multi-watercolor set, and the other one is a toy product called Bendaroos. Bendaroos was one of the top-selling toys in America between 2008 and 2010 when I was the most popular person on YouTube. But I never promoted Bendaroos or told anybody because I didn't want to use my fans to sell Bendaroos, and I didn't want to have trolls arguing about going to sites and downvoting them. So I'm gonna be making toy reviews. Anyone joining me late, I'm gonna start doing the toy reviews again. The only reason I can't do shoutouts right now is they're all going by so fast. The names on the chat, the names are very, very tiny, and it's really even hard to read the text, and it goes by so fast. So I mean really. Oh, Mike Perret is here. Hey Mike Perret, I did see that name go by. It's one of my dearest fans. So I got bored and I started helping a lot of artists. I help a lot of artists to this day. I mentor them. I find artists that have a lot of talent that I think could really be something big, and I really want to help them. Excuse me. Well, this is where my story turns. Now, there's a lot of things that happened in my life in the last few years, and you guys have got to hear this. This related to one of the reasons why I stopped doing the toy reviews suddenly, and there was two reasons. If you hang around here, you'll find out both reasons. One of the reasons is obvious if you go back on my Instagram. It's Mike Mozart on Instagram. You don't have to have an account or sign. You can read all about what happened there. And I started helping all these artists. Two of the artists I helped are two of the most popular, biggest selling artists in the world, making like hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Because I know how to help people to that point. I really do. I know I've been in business a long time. I know how to help people make money and get their talent seen. Scringy's still around. Scringy actually came in this evening, but now he doesn't want to come on live because he's a bum. And so what happened is I was helping like 20 artists, and one of those artists that I basically found unknown, completely unknown, didn't have money to buy lunch and nothing. I mentored him and gave him a career that must be bringing him $20 million a year. Just this one artist you're going to hear a lot about. Over $20 million a year. Wouldn't you like to make $20 million a year? Wouldn't you like if somebody came along and said, hey, I know you got a rotted out old truck and you have not a lot of going for you. You don't have any ideas, you don't have any talent, but I'll make you a star. And I did. I made him a star. And I've done it to a lot of people. I've made a lot of people out there stars, guys. But I don't brag about it. I don't tell anybody about it. Never. Well, I never had a problem like I did with this one particular person. And instead of them being thankful that I gave them oh, hi, Tina. Instead of them being thankful that I gave them a $20 million a year career, they saw me as a liability. That means it's something dangerous. Because here is Mike Mozart, and my whole career is due to him. And if he tells anybody, I could lose my $20 million a year and my Louis Vuitton and my Hermes clothes and my jewelry and watches and my private jet. What can we do to get him out of the picture? I won't go into all the details, but let me just say it was really bad. And what happened is I went public. I went public on him that I did and designed most of his artwork, that any artwork anyone knew or recognized, since he was unknown. And he has 500,000 followers on Instagram. I have 20,000. And I have been going through so much torment because now I'm doing artwork and paintings, most of the designs that I designed originally for him. And I am having a hard time keeping up with his troll army against me. terrible troll army. And I know my YouTube fans are so loyal. Remember all the stuff we've been through over the years? And I'm back again. I'm going to start doing live shows again like this. And you're going to see me paint and draw live. Wouldn't you like that? And I'll have my toy reviews again. And I have all the toys here. This is the same building I broadcast from and filmed all my toy reviews in. I really want to do that again. I'll be doing them live, and I will be painting live like Bob Ross did. But I really need a bunch of people that care about me to go to Instagram and follow me, Mike Mozart on Instagram. Because I'm having a lot of problems there on Instagram with this guy that I made uber millionaire. And his millionaire buddies are out to crush me. Can you imagine? Poor Mike Mozart. I've helped so many artists, helped so many people, given away half the money I've ever made in my life to people that just needed help. And now I've got somebody I gave a $20 million career to, and his whole dream is to crush me. And I know that my fans are out here and they'll support me, on Instagram. It's Mike Mozart on Instagram, all one word. And I am going to start doing the reviews again. And I have some other stories. I have positive stories. I have a lot of very good things that have happened to me too. Scringy is still around, if anyone remembers him from the live shows he used to do on YouNow particularly. But I did YouTube Live, and Scringy would show up. And I did Blog TV. He works for me periodically. As far as the beard, because everyone is interested in the beard, which is funny. I've always been able to grow this beard out like this, but I've never shown it because literally until 2 years ago, big beards were not in style. Again, if you had a big beard like this 2 years ago, you were homeless or you were a hippie. And about 2 years ago, they were associated with hipsters. Hipsters were growing beards. But now beards are a hot thing. So wow, that's good for me because I grow beard of the century. I have pictures, and I'll show you some. When I figure out how to use this system a little bit better, I'll show you pictures of what I look like when I really let my beard grow, and it grows really fast. It really grows really, really fast. My beard grows all the way up here. I cut my beard down so you can see my cheekbones, so you can see me smile. My beard, I have a Twitter. I am Jeepers Media on Twitter. My beard grows all the way down my neck, but I shave it here because it looks too enormous if I do that. And I have eyebrows this big. They don't show big here, but I have eyebrows this tall. And if you look if you just Google search me where I've let my eyebrows and beard grow out longer than this, you'll be so surprised at what I actually look like. It's so hilarious. Especially I grow this unibrow, this terrible unibrow, and I have these tall eyebrows. And I trim them way back. Yeah, and it's so wonderful to have all my fans here. So let me tell you some stories. I have a lot of stories that have happened to me. Now, a lot of people wondered, why'd you go away from YouTube for so long? You were gone for so long. Now, the reason I'm not looking right at the camera's here, hi camera, is that all the comments for some reason are on the opposite side. I wish I could switch that to the other side, but there probably isn't a way to do that. I am going to start making the reviews again. And I have some pictures to post too on my Instagram. You're all going to find very, very funny. I inspired a lot of people on YouTube. When I started on YouTube in 2005, I was the only toy reviewer. In 2007, 2008, there was no other toy reviewers. I was it. No one's doing any toy reviews. And I helped a lot of the early people at that time start doing toy reviews. And it really turned out to be something really fun for everybody. And I have an interesting story about what my disappearance was. I really disappeared from YouTube about 1.5 years ago, just before this problem happened with this guy on Instagram, who's got his troll army after me right now. Oh, Philippe Plain. That's a whole story. That's somewhat explained, but there's a lot more to that. I know it's been so long, and I've missed all you guys so much. Again, it's very difficult. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, and it's hard for me to see those little tiny words going by. And it's kind of funny too because I have. Thanks for missing me here. I switched my glasses. I have these little oval glasses now. Remember, I had the big black ones that were black across the top. And if you could share this show. I really don't know how YouTube works anymore, and I've got quite a story about YouTube and Google. It was really the powers that be at YouTube and Google that sort of chased me off of this site. It wasn't pretty. And I'll tell you about that too. But I'm back again, and I'm not afraid of anybody right now after what I've been through. I've been through a lot. Now, Mike Dozart, I did all those Play-Doh reviews. I'm going to do a lot more of those. You notice how good I sculpted all those little sculptures out of Play-Doh, if you've seen my Play-Doh ones? Because I was a professional artist for years. I used to sculpt toys. Years ago, before they had computers doing it, now they have computer lasers that actually make 3D models. Back then they didn't. And I had to hand sculpt those all out of clay. And I did them for so many action figure lines. It's sick. Looking back now, what we used to have to do by hand. Back in the 80s, Ghostbusters was all hand sculpted. All those figures for toys, the hands, the legs, the heads, were all sculpted with little tiny tools. And when I did those Play-Doh reviews, I actually took out my original tools and I sculpted those. I sculpted a lot of those live, guys. And well, I have to get a drink of water here. My mouth is really dry. It's really dry in here. So, again, it's hard for me to shout out to people because it goes by too fast. Oh, I don't mind. Somebody warned me about annoying kids trolling in the chat. I'm the king troll. I love trolls. Trolls are my army. Trolls are my biggest love in the world because they've helped me so much over the years. And and people thought I was dead too. Can you imagine all the people that thought I was dead? There I am, very much alive. So now just a few things, and you can look at these on YouTube. If you're just curious, you'll find out one of the things that really killed me on YouTube. One of the things that really hurt me from broadcasting. This is just before I was forced to go public on this other guy that I was doing a lot of design and artwork for. Is if you Google Mike Mozart and Obama, Mike Mozart, Obama. If you do that, you will see that there was an offer a few years ago where the White House offered that President Obama would answer the top 10 most voted questions submitted by the YouTube community. I don't know how many people remember that, but it was an offer that I couldn't refuse. So what happened is their mother had contacted me because I like doing videos about the injustices of the world. You know, when you have 500,000 followers, shouldn't you tell the people what's going on out there? Because, you know, everyone knows out there. You don't hear a lot about it in the media. You don't hear a lot about it in the news. And people loved me, so I wanted to tell them some things. So I was contacted by a wonderful woman in England. Her son, Richard O'Dwyer, you can Google me. Just Google Richard O'Dwyer and Mike Mozart. O'Dwyer, O apostrophe, D-W-Y-E-R. This mother had, oh my God, her son was going to be extradited to the United States. Hillary Clinton had filed criminal charges in England to extradite this kid to the United States. High school kid, just going into college. You know why? Because he linked to copyright infringing materials online. He didn't upload any copyright infringing materials. He didn't share any. He just linked to them. Like if you're on Twitter and you'd link to a cute picture or cute video you saw. You don't know if it's copyright infringing or not. Well, they were going to send him to prison for 30 freaking years for linking at 18. And the mother that contacted me, no father, and the mother was a nurse working in a hospice for dying children. Children dying of cancer. They had no money. They couldn't afford an attorney. And she said, you're the only person I think that could actually help us. Could you do something to get the word out? So I was trying to think how to do it. You know, how to tell the community and get people behind it. So what happened is President Obama offered a contest of sorts. I will answer the top 10 most voted questions as asked by the YouTube community. Yay. Like, wow, I'll do that. I bet I can rally my fans to vote it up, right? Well, I was in a Google Plus Hangout that day, and I heard people, remember when Google Plus was actually a thing? I was actually big on Google Plus for about a year before I thought it sucked. But I used to go in the Hangouts a lot, especially if I saw a lot of Google people that work for Google or YouTube. I thought it was cool to listen in. So what happened is I'm in there listening in the Hangouts, and they're talking about how it's rigged. They're talking about this whole contest where he'd answer the top 10 most voted questions by YouTube community. They were manipulating the votes. Not a lot, just a little up and down to make sure that only the questions the White House wanted to answer would be in the top 10. And they said it sucked because we have to manually do it because we don't want it to be obvious. So we'll slowly downvote and upvote the questions to make sure the top 10 are there. And so it got near the end of the voting. It was the last day of the voting after 2 weeks. And they were talking, wow, I'm so happy this is over now. We can stop upvoting and downvoting stupid things now. And I remember being in there and I says, oh, you're not going to do it anymore? No one's going to become the top 10. We've got it all set. We've upvoted it. Someone would have to come out of nowhere and no one's going to do that. I did. I really did. So what I did is I made a video I posted on all my channels telling them to go vote up the question. President Obama, why are you personally endorsing extraditing a kid from England to make him spend 30 years in federal prison in the United States for merely linking to copyrighted things? Just linking. So my fans, you guys came through and made mine the #1 top voted question. Right? Sounds pretty easy. Doesn't that sound like game over? Wow, now he has to answer it? No. Not at all. You can Google my name and President Obama. You'll see that Google Plus Hangout where he's forced to answer my question. I had a video question like I'm doing right now. It was a video question. And there was supposed to be a live. If you watched that Google Plus event, it was supposed to be live where you got to physically ask the questions. Well, it didn't work out like they expected because I became the #1 question. And I was called by Google, YouTube people the next day. You've got to withdraw the question. I'm not withdrawing the question. Well, you don't understand. The White House didn't approve answering that question. It was never supposed to make it to #1. This is something that was beyond our control. My comments have stopped. Like all my comments stopped. So they said, well, you can have to withdraw it. All you have to do is just delete the question, the video for the question, and it will be withdrawn from the poll, and you won't be #1 anymore. You'll just disappear. And I said I wouldn't do it. I said, I want him to answer that question. Why they're going to take some 18-year-old kid and put him in prison 30 years? Because he just linked to copyrighted things. Because everybody links to copyrighted things, whether they know it or not. And they said, well, we could get a little rough here because, you must earn a substantial amount of income. You have ad revenue on your channels, and it would be sad if they all disappeared tomorrow. They threatened to take down all my YouTube stuff I've ever done if I didn't remove the question. And I refused. And they had to answer. President Obama had to answer that question. And it says, so if you Google that question, Mike Mozart and Obama, you will see that question, and he's forced to answer it. And he blows it off. They didn't let me ask it. They said, well, what was #1? It was a text question. No, it wasn't. It was a video question. Because they didn't want me to ask it live. Bastards. So he said, well, I don't know anything about this case particularly, but, copyright infringement is an important deal and all this stuff. So what happened is that became front page news all over Europe. President Obama doesn't care if an 18-year-old kid goes to prison in America for 30 years just because he linked to things. It was the biggest embarrassment in presidential history. Our media never reported it here. Remember, they were all for SOPA and all that stuff. But over in England and in France and Germany, this was #1 headline news. 3 days later, they withdrew the complaint and stopped the extradition. How about that? So I freed that kid from that problem. And I did a lot of things like that. I love helping people that need help. We stopped SOPA from happening, didn't we? I put up all those anti-SOPA videos. And I worked really hard to help you guys and everybody on the internet to try to stop this bullshit from happening. And I'm really happy about helping out Richard O'Dwyer, and I'm happy about helping a lot of other artists. I helped a lot of other artists. And one of the reasons I'm going to be coming back on YouTube, I'm doing the toy reviews again, and you're going to get to see me do my paintings. I'm a painter, artist. I'll be painting live. And I need people to follow me on, hi Tina, I need people to follow me on Instagram, Mike Mozart on Instagram. Because a lot of what's happened to me is due to one artist on there who I mentored, drew artwork for endlessly for years, 7 years. Gave him a millions and millions of dollars a year career. And it's turned out terrible for me. I wish I had never met him. I've helped other artists, that are a lot bigger than this guy. I hate even saying his name. If you go to my Instagram, you'll figure it out real quick. Just go back on my Instagram a little bit. Even a couple of the recent posts, you'll figure out who this artist is that just, I don't want to say the F word. I'm trying to think of the word. I want to be happy. I'm a happy person. I don't want to say negative things. He who must not be named will be obvious there. He has like 500,000 followers, and he's trolling me terrible right now after what I've done for him. And I need people to follow me at Mike Mozart on Instagram. And I'm going to be doing live shows on Instagram too. My live Instagram shows will be live drawing and painting. A lot of them. And I'm going to be, thanks for everyone out there that loves me too, by the way. And I'm going to be, shout out to Remy. Looking at all the people going by, this is so wonderful to see all these people there. Yeah, the blog TV shows were wonderful. I'm seeing so many of my blog TV people go by here, and I miss you guys all so much. I used to do live shows all the time. But what happened with YouTube and the YouTube, Google people underhandedly threatening me, making me feel bad, really took away a lot of my fun of my life doing YouTube videos at that time. And that's blown over now. That's all in the past. And I also want to start doing live paintings again because I miss everyone. I love painting and drawing. This guy that I'm doing the paintings, well, I designed his artwork. I actually came up with the ideas, the designs. He projected them onto a canvas and traced them, at least at the beginning, to help him out. And then as that went along, it turned out to be much worse than that. He started hiring artists, like high school kids, and paying them $100 a piece to sell for paintings he was selling for tens of thousands of dollars. His paintings were going for tens of thousands. These are my paintings back here. There's a lot of them here. This is they just happen to be Uncle Scrooge. I do a lot more than Uncle Scrooge. And I'm bringing the toy reviews back. I'm bringing back new, fresh ones. That'll be exciting and wonderful. A lot of competition now, but I know how to make an entertaining video. That's one of the things that the toy reviewers don't do. I have people that show up all the time on my Instagram. Mike Mozart, YouTube needs you. Now, everybody does toy reviews, but what was different about my toy reviews is they were entertaining. It wasn't just, this is a great toy. You could open the top. You can pour it. It makes a fun. Mine were entertaining. I wanted them to be fun and entertaining to do. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of those entertaining ones. The only reason these paintings are behind me right now, I mean really, are ones I'm actually working on. I just happen to be doing a bunch of Uncle Scrooge because DuckTales is coming back and everyone wants Uncle Scrooge paintings. And I will be doing a lot more toy reviews. I have the biggest collection of toys in this planet right here in my office. It's the same place I did all my toy reviews from. And wow, it's so great to have all you guys here. I gotta get another drink of water. 440 viewers. God, if I could get just 100 of you to follow me on Instagram, Mike Mozart on Instagram. I have 2 other channels on Instagram, 2 other channels. One is Real Ghost Artist, and the other is Mimo Portfolio. Now, I'm known as Mimo. As an artist, I'm known as Mimo. A lot of my fans that used to watch my live shows years ago knew that my name as an artist for years was Mimo. M-I for Mike, M-O for Mozart. So I was Mimo. And that's why I signed my paintings for years. These paintings are all signed Mimo behind me. I think you can see Mimo right there. See that in gold? And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see all my paintings are signed Mimo. I've been signing them like that for 30 years. So I'm going to be painting a lot more live, but I'm going to be doing the toy reviews. What my goal is to do toy reviews and try to do a painting that matches the review. So if I do a Barbie toy, I'll do a fun painting of Barbie or something. If I do a G.I. Joe toy, I'll do a cool G.I. Joe piece of artwork. I do pop art. And I've been thinking about Twitch. I really like YouTube Live because I have broadcast on YouTube Live, and everyone that loved me here, they remember me. It's like I was a fond memory when they were a kid. I was the guy on YouTube that they could watch and enjoy and say, wow, this guy was pretty cool. And a lot of people came on doing toy reviews. A lot of them are spammy. You know what I mean by spammy? Where they just put up spam. They just keep reviewing toys, a lot of times poorly. They'll do it on 22 channels, all similar names. And do I know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, who lives on Drury Lane? Somebody said, do you know the Muffin Man? But I'm going to be broadcasting on the Toy Channel live. I'm going to be posting videos again on the Toy Channel and Jeepers Media. I'm going to broadcast live on Jeepers Media. And for all the people that have arrived late, and it's kind of sad for me. I have to say this, and it's been a long time, but it really is sad for me. My beautiful Black Lab Cocoa Puff passed away about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. She was 15 years old, and she was the greatest dog on earth. I still have a dog here. Her sister is still alive at 17. She's still pretty frisky and okay. She's losing her hearing. She's starting to go deaf. But she's still pretty healthy for 17. That's very, very, very old for a dog. Coco lived very old for a dog. 15 was very old. And I love Coco. She was my best girl ever. But she'll live forever. My Cocoa Puff will live forever in all my videos, right? Everyone will get to enjoy and see her for years now. And a lot of people remember Cocoa Puff because of my videos and for my live shows where Cocoa Puff was always there. Coco will always be remembered. A lot of people remember Cocoa Puff. I don't want to talk about negative things. She lived a long life and she had a very happy life. Now, a lot of people like my toy review videos, and especially Play-Doh. One of the reasons my Play-Doh videos were so good is I'm a professional artist that used to design toys, and I used to sculpt the original toys. Back in the 70s and 80s, all those little action figures like Ghostbusters and anything, they were all hand sculpted by an artist like me, all those little pieces that went in the molds. And they switched around late 1990s using computers. The computers actually carved them. So I wasn't doing that anymore. But I was one of the top sculptors back in the day. So what I did is my YouTube videos, the Play-Doh reviews, I sculpted all these wonderful sculptures with the Play-Doh. My Play-Doh sculptures would be better than anybody's because I did it professionally for toys for years. Oh yeah, the Chomp and Chew Diner. That is probably one of my most famous videos for years, the Chomp and Chew Diner. Man, I love that. And it was, as a matter of fact, he won't make an appearance, he may say hi. Scringy, the guy that actually worked with me often back then on those videos, he did stop by here tonight and help me set up this show, but he's kind of shy and doesn't want to appear on it. Anyone that remembers who Scringy was, he usually had crazy hair and a crazy beard, a big red hammer, and he'd smash toys. In the Clown Play-Doh review, he shows up, and he's got the hammer, and he smashes the clown. If you remember that, he's here. He's here right now. He just walked by. He might say hi. Would you at least say hi? Say hi to everybody. We have 472 live viewers. Just say hi.
Hi.
No, you guys sound louder than that. They can't hear you. Oh, bum. Still a bum. Won't say hi.
You probably a lot worse, though.
He's saying, please say hi.
No.
Tabby C is here. Won't you try for Tabby C? Come on. It's Mike Scringy. Well, we tried. I like the comments going by about him. So my camera fell down here a little bit here. At least I position this up a little bit more. I think I have to tighten up this thing a little bit. That's better. Yeah, so I need people to follow me on Instagram. Mike Mozart on Instagram. I'd really appreciate it. You could also check out Mimo Portfolio on Instagram and Real Ghost Artist. And I will be broadcasting live there. What's nice about Instagram Live, which is like this, a lot fewer, I still have Baby Laughs Live. I still have all my classic toys, by the way. I have all my toys. I have at least 150 new fail toys and cool vintage toys I'm going to start reviewing again. Thank God. And I'll be on the top of the YouTube toy reviewer game again, because all my fans out there remember me and love me and all that. And hi, Sarah. I'm trying to say call outs, to people. It's tough. A lot of the comments go by so fast here. And hi, Sarah. I mean, they go by so fast here. I would like to have a toy museum. I still have all the toys. I have the best toys. But I don't want to start. It sounds awful. It sounds like I'm talking like Trump. I have all the toys. I have all the best toys. Well, in my case, I really do. I actually do. I have all the first original toys of anything anyone ever knew or loved as a child. And I am a big fan of Monopoly, and I have been for a long time. If you look on the Toy Channel, I was doing reviews of Monopoly games and my wonderful Monopoly collection years before I met this guy who I mentored and helped, who became really famous for doing the Monopoly guy. That was his claim to fame, was the Monopoly guy, basically. And it was because of my knowledge and all my work I had done. Yeah, somebody mentioned, is the beard real? This is real. This is real Mike Mozart beard. It grows in so thick. Look how thick my beard is. You have to pull it way back to see any skin there. There's skin under there. It grows right up to my lips, solid. It's hard to eat. It's funny because when your beard is this thick, like this, I have to keep my mustache cut back. My mustache grows out to here, guys. It grows out like 8 inches. But it makes it hard to eat pizza. You can't eat slices of pizza or sandwiches because the mustache gets in the way. And the other problem is that sandwiches and pizza are impossible to eat. And one of the problems I have is when you eat soup, it gets all over this part of your beard because it's so fluffy. So I'm letting it grow out. I'm actually going to let my beard grow out a lot. Why not? I think it's fun. I used to have it really long when I was a kid. I'm going to work on my channels here on YouTube again. And I'll be doing a lot more of these live shows. I'm going to be making I actually filmed a whole bunch of toy review videos in the past few months that I haven't posted yet. Because I was waiting for the right moment. I was waiting for the right moment to post and say, I'm back, everybody. And I wanted something very special. Do you want a preview of one of my most special stories? Does anyone want a preview of a very special story? Because you hung around and waited, I will tell you something really amazing. How many people out there remember Toy Story 1 and 2? They really loved the movies and they remember the details. They remember Andy and they remembered the shark and they remembered Al from Al's Toy Barn. They really remember the stories. Okay. I had a friendship of sorts with one of the main writers of Toy Story. Years ago. Before Toy Story came out in theaters, guys. Before Bug's Life came out. I was going to visit the people at Pixar when Pixar was doing TV commercials. Pixar was doing TV commercials. And it was small. I was out there, and when I went out there like the second time, they had laid off a bunch of people. They thought they were going to go under. They literally thought that Pixar was going to die. They were trying to market a computer called the Pixar computer. I saw all these Pixar computers. They were doing their best to try to market a computer to do CGI animation. And they were doing TV commercials. I remember one where they were doing like a piano with a woman playing it, and they were trying to make money that way. So what's interesting about that is I got a friendship with one guy there, Joe Ranft. And he was a really great guy, real sweetheart of a guy. I went out to California, probably saw him 4 or 5 times. And something interesting happened. Something interesting. When Toy Story 2 came out on DVD, they issued a deluxe set of 3 discs. I bought that set, and I brought it out to California to have him sign it for me. And it was a tough time because they were in the midst. Oh, by the way, don't comment on Alec Monopoly's. Don't comment on Alec Monopoly's page because he'll just block you, by the way, for people that figured it out. Don't even bother to comment because he will block you instantly. Okay? And what happened is this guy was one of the writers of the Pixar stories. He was a great guy, and he was one of the lead writers. So I went out there and I met him, and he took me to lunch, and we're talking, and I said, there are so many mistakes in Toy Story 1 and 2. I said, wow, there's so many mistakes in Toy Story 1 and 2. And he said, there's no mistakes. It was such a sweet guy, but nope, no mistakes. Everything's perfect. And I said, well, what happened to Andy's dad? Hi, Steve Green. I tried to get that one in there. What happened to Andy's dad? And he said, oh, he died before Toy Story 1 started. Well, I figured that probably happened, but what happened? How come Andy is having a birthday party and everyone seems pretty happy? It would have been Andy's first birthday party after his father died, right? Because we don't know his father died, do we? In Toy Story 1 or 2. It's never mentioned if he died. He died. I know how he died, and I know the whole backstory. And I'm going to be making a video explaining everything he told me. Now, I'm going to tell you right now. I'll give you a little bit of information if you want to hear it. That house where Andy is living in Toy Story 1, did you notice the house is pretty old? Did you notice there's a room there with Andy's father's things in it? There's an old toy chest there from the 1950s. The bed is obviously old from the 1950s. That was Andy's father's house Andy's father grew up in, right? But there's no Andy's father. It's just the mother and the kids. So I was talking with him and I said, well, we never see Andy's father, and he's never mentioned. Don't you think they would have pictures of Andy's father on the wall? There's a point in Toy Story 1 where the kid runs down the stairs and there's pictures all down the stairs on the wall. And I said, Andy's dad isn't there. He said, those are all pictures of Andy's dad as a child. If you look at the pictures, there's pictures of Andy wearing glasses. Andy's never shown wearing glasses. It's Andy's dad a little older. Look at those pictures. One of them is missing their front teeth. There's somebody missing the front teeth in those pictures. That's Andy's dad after he lost his front teeth, where little Andy Jr., still has both his baby teeth in the front. It's obviously when he smiles. Wow, it's Andy's dad's house. What happened to Andy's dad's parents? So he told me the story of what happened. And you're going to love this. Who wants to hear the story? Do you want to hang out here and hear the story? Why don't you text your friends, or why don't you share this on Twitter? Say, oh my God, want to hear what happened to Andy's dad? Want to hear what happened to Andy's parents, grandparents, everything? I know it all. So I had lunch with this guy, and he told me this is not a theory, this is not a conspiracy, this is not a fan fiction. This is from one of the lead writers at Pixar that really wrote on this movie, that knew the whole story. Okay, so here's more of this story. So, I knew this guy back when Pixar was doing TV commercials. Okay? And he contacted me when they were doing TV commercials. And he said, you design a lot of toys. I was designing a lot of toys and a lot of toy products. He said, why would a toy be super, super rare? Why would a toy be the rarest toy if it was a lead character? Shouldn't Sheriff Woody have been the most common toy? Think about it. All the toys for Woody's Roundup. Sheriff Woody should have been the most common. Every kid would have wanted Sheriff Woody. He should have been the common one. But when they went to Al's penthouse apartment, it was all full of millions of toys based on Woody's Roundup, except Sheriff Woody. So what happened is, he said, he asked me way before Toy Story ever came out, he asked me this question. You're in toys. Why would something be incredibly rare if it should have been the most common toy of the lot? And I said, well, one of the big problems is I collect old toy catalogs. And if you look on Imager, Imgur, some people pronounce it Imgur. If you look there, you're going to see I posted a toy catalog of Ghostbusters toys from the 1980s. Some were never made. What happens is a lot of toys that are made, or should have been made, aren't. They're advertised, they're promoted, but for some reason or another, it was never manufactured. And I said the biggest problem with that are toys that are promotional. It's like, what do you mean promotional? Well, let's say if Cocoa Puffs, the cereal Cocoa Puffs comes out with a promotion. Save up 40 box tops, send them in, and you'll get a free Lone Ranger toy. Well, what happens is the cereal manufacturer goes out of business before the promotion ends, and then the toys are never distributed. So this toy that should be really common is very rare. I told him that a long time ago. So he pointed it out. Well, you're the one that mentioned to me, wow, a toy could be really rare. And I said, how does it relate to Sheriff Woody? Oh, Gabby's here. Gabby3385 is here. So what happened is the Toy Story 1 should have a prequel called Toy Story 0. Toy Story's prequel, I know every word for. I know everything that happened. And it starts when Andy's dad was the same age Andy is in Toy Story 1. You all ready for this? This is from the lead writer of Toy Story. And what makes this story very special is, it's awful. So I don't want to cry or anything. You know, I get very emotional over things I can't really talk about. Joe Ranft died, unfortunately, very young. He was one of the lead writers of Pixar, and he died in a tragic car accident. And as somebody I knew and talked to, and it really hurt me a lot at the time. And I sort of forgotten really about him telling me about the story of what happened before Toy Story 1. And I'd always meant to make a video of it, but I never did. But I think I should make a recording of what he told me. I had lunch, a very special lunch with him, where he told me what happened to Andy's dad and Andy's everything before that. So what happened is, when Andy's dad was a child, 7 years old, he grew up in that house with his mother and father. His father worked for Al Sr. Al's toy barn was a farm, and he was the richest man in town. Al from Al's toy barn is the same age as Andy's dad. He grew up with Andy's dad as a child. Al from Al's Toy Barn was a spoiled, rotten little rich kid that was a bully on Andy's dad. Andy's dad was sort of a sickly child. So what happened is, Al from Al's Toy Barn, when he was a child, lived on a farm. The barn from that farm still exists. When Al's father died, Al from Al's Toy Barn sold off the farm, piece by piece by piece, except for the barn, which became his toy store. So this whole city grew up around on the property of the original farm. All of the buildings around Al's Toy Barn are all brand new. But the barn is very, very old, because that was the barn of the family farm. The family farm now is all gone. Al from Al's Toy Barn, when he grew into an adult, slowly sold off the farm and squandered all the money and blew it. Wasted it all. Mostly on his collections that he collected. You know, his toys and everything he collected. So what happened is, now here's Andy as a child. And their family didn't have a lot of money. And Al from Al's Toy Barn bullied on little Andy because he was always sickly. He was never a healthy kid. He was thin and frail. And But Andy loved Woody's Roundup, the TV show. Andy loved Woody's Roundup. And he wanted a Sheriff Woody toy so bad. This is being saved on YouTube, but I'm going to make a whole video of this. I'll make a real nice video of this. Because I'm going to leave out some details, I'm sure there's a lot of details here. It's going to take a long time to tell the story. So here is poor Andy's dad, Andy Sr. I'll just call him Andy Sr. so you don't get confused. So we got Andy Sr. and we have Al Jr., which is Al from Al's Toy Barn, grown up later. And in the midst of Woody's Roundup show came a promotion. Eat the breakfast cereal that's sugar-coated and dipped in chocolate, no Sheriff Woody's Roundup cereal, has a special promotion. If you collect like 30 box tops, you have to buy 30 boxes of this cereal. You save those box tops and you send them to the company. You're going to get your own Sheriff Woody doll. The only way you can get a Sheriff Woody figure toy is through this promotion. Won't be available in stores, won't be available anywhere unless you collect all 30 of them. So Woody's father didn't make a lot of money working for Al's dad. And when I say, should I say Andy's dad was a child, so it's Andy's grandfather that lived in that house. I know it gets confusing. That's why I'm going to draw pictures. I've already started drawing pictures to illustrate what happened in this story, because it could get a little confusing because we're talking about identical people, and Andy's dad, Andy's grandfather, and Andy himself, and Al Jr. So it's a little confusing, but it really picks up. Gets very interesting. So now there's a promotion to collect cereal boxes. And Al from Al's Toy Barn as a child was the most spoiled kid on the planet. His father had lots of money, biggest landowner in town, no mother. Mother died years ago. So the father just spoiled Al from Al's Toy Barn as a child. Rotten. Spoiled him rotten. And that kid was mean and rotten to everybody else. So here's poor Andy's dad. All he wants is his Sheriff Woody, doing the best he can for his parents, doing the best they can to afford the sweet cereal. That cereal was expensive. They couldn't really afford it. And what happened is, it's getting close to, now it's the end. Here's the promotion, right? You have to send in your coupons by like November 14th, whatever the date was. I actually wrote this down. And this is not a fan fiction, by the way. This is not fan fiction. This is from the original writer of Toy Story. One of the original writers that died in a car accident. And as far as I know, he did not tell anyone else. I've never seen anyone at Pixar ever say that they knew this story. So what happened is, now Al from Al's Toy Barn has sent away his box tops to the cereal company. And Andy didn't have enough. They needed like 30 box tops, and his family was poor. They could only afford 7 boxes of cereal. So Andy's dad, this is like 1959, 58, 59. He sends a letter to the cereal company, and he writes this beautiful letter. He writes all over this envelope. From Sheriff Woody's favorite deputy, right on the envelope. And inside he puts in the 7 or 8 box tops he had, and he writes this letter. Please, toy company, my family doesn't have the money. I did everything I could. I collected bottles. I just couldn't afford enough cereal to get Sheriff Woody. But I'm his favorite deputy. Could you please send me a Sheriff Woody? It would mean the world to me, because it's the only place you can get him is through this offer. Well, what happened is this. Sputnik went up. The Russian satellite went up. The production company that made Sheriff Woody's Roundup was working with the cereal company. The deadline had just passed where you had to send in all your box tops. Okay? The production company and the cereal company are having a meeting. We got to bring out Space Toys right now. This is the hottest thing. We've got to cancel Sheriff Woody's Roundup. So they had not started manufacturing the Sheriff Woody toys. They were gonna push the button and start them, and they had to make a decision: are we going to manufacture those toys or not? So the secretary comes in. She said, we have all these kids here that send in their box tops are waiting for their Sheriff Woody. What do we do? They made the executive decision, you know what? We're going to send them a space toy. They're going to forget all about Sheriff Woody. We're taking Sheriff Woody off the air. We'll give them a beautiful space toy. They'll all be thrilled. So the secretary goes out and she looks at the piles and piles and piles of mail. And there's a few, the mailman comes in and throws a few straggler letters on her desk. Right on top is Andy's, from Sheriff Woody's favorite deputy. So she walks in and she said, we've got this one prototype, one of a kind prototype of Woody. All the others are going to be manufactured wrong. What do we do with this? The production, the toy company guy grabs a toy, says no one's going to ever want this. He throws it in the trash can. So the secretary sits down, she looks at that letter, and she looks at that one Woody ever made. She picks it out and mails it to him. Andy's dad is the only person to ever have a Woody doll. The only one ever made. That's why Al could never find one. Think of all the money Al had. Think of all the toys he had, but there was never another Woody. Because they sold all the other toys in stores, just not Woody. Then they never manufactured it. This is what he asked me about years before when I went to Pixar and they had TV commercials there. So, no, that story gets good. The story gets really good. Because in Toy Story 2, when they're in Al's apartment and they have Jesse and the old prospector, right? They're sitting there. They realize that Sheriff Woody doesn't know who he is. They say to him, you don't know who you are. Do you remember that? And they play the Woody's Roundup show. Sheriff Woody comes over and sits in front of it. Wow. Because they never reran the show. When they canceled Woody's Roundup before we found out if he ever rescued. Remember that whole rescue scene at the end? The final episode was never, ever made. So when Woody was opened out of that package by Andy Sr., Woody's Roundup was already off the air. So Sheriff Woody never saw the show. That's why he didn't know who he was. Andy's dad looked just like Andy. Now fathers look just like their sons. So Andy's dad took out his fountain pen, because they had fountain pens back then, and wrote Andy on the bottom. Those words, Andy, weren't written by Andy, the kid we know. They're written by his dad. So I'm going to cut a whole bunch of stuff out here, just to speed up the story along. Because now there's adventures where now Al from Al's Toy Barn, as a child, figured out that's the only one. He's got to get it and steal it. That's a big part of what it would have been if they ever made a movie. But what happened to Andy's dad? How did Andy's dad somehow go from Andy's dad to Andy, and Sheriff Woody has no idea that any time travel? I remember saying to him, well, how did it go from Andy's dad to Andy, but he doesn't know any time passed? I said that Sheriff Woody must have known that there was this big gap of time. And he said, no, he didn't. Andy's dad came down with polio. Because the vaccine hadn't been invented yet, and kids were becoming disabled with polio. So he had Sheriff Woody for a week, and Andy's dad got sick. Doctors diagnosed polio. Do you know what they did with the belongings of children? It was very contagious. Polio was very contagious. There was no cure. Do you know what they did to the belongings of everything that child owned when they got polio? They burned them. People know it. They would burn everything, their mattresses, their bedding, and all their toys. So here is Andy now, unable to walk. He has lost the use of his legs, and they're going to send him to a special hospital. And they have taken everything from Andy's room and put it out into the middle of the backyard and poured gasoline on it to burn everything, including Sheriff Woody and Mr. Potato Head and Slinky Dog, because they existed back then. If you look at the Slinky Dog in Toy Story 1 and 2, it's the Slinky Dog they made in the 1950s, not the modern Slinky Dog. So, here's Andy. He was seeing that all of his belongings and his treasures and his Sheriff Woody were going to be burned. He crawled out into the yard because he couldn't use his legs. He crawled out in the yard and he rescued Sheriff Woody, Potato Head, and Slinky Dog and stuffed them in a pillowcase. He got them back in the house and pulled himself up those attic stairs. You know those attic stairs that they show in Toy Story 3 where they're throwing the stuff out? He pulled himself up with those toys into the attic, put them in a little trunk, little tiny trunk, and he is looking at them in the light coming through the attic window. Oh my gosh, so sad, because the guy told me this, and it's just so sad because the guy died too, you know. So he said, listen, Sheriff Woody, I have to go away. I'm sick and I have to go to a hospital far away. But I'll be back. I promise I'll come back for you. And I said, I want you and Potato Head and Slinky Dog. You've got to sleep. You've got to go to sleep for a long time. Like the longest, deepest sleep you've ever had. You promise me. I want you to go to sleep because I love you very much. And he packs him in this little trunk and he puts little blankets around him with his little cowboy boots. He saved a few other things. He got his little pair of cowboy boots and a couple little things he loved. And he put them in there. And Sheriff Woody and Slinky Dog, he closed the lid and they fell asleep. So now this point is now Andy, now his belongings are all burned except for those three things. He was sent to a hospital, special hospital, because they had hospitals for people with polio back then. It was a very serious thing. And he got well, but he was away for years. He was away for years because he was so sick. And by the time he came back, he was a little old for the toys. And he was kind of sad. It made him sad to think about them there, and he didn't want to go open the box. You know, he knew they were there, and maybe someday he'd have a little son that would love them. So he grew up, and then he told me specifically moved to Seattle and found his beautiful wife, who was Andy's mom. They were doing great. And Andy's father got sick. What happens is if you have polio as a child, you can get something called post-polio syndrome. Look it up online, post-polio syndrome. The polio never goes away. It lives in you and can come back at any time. It doesn't have to be fatal, but in his case it was fatal. So what happened is they didn't have health insurance. They used up all their money. Here was Andy's mother pregnant with a baby. Here's the father, so sick he couldn't move. There was nothing they could do. They lost their house. They didn't have insurance. They spent all their money, lost their house. Andy was, about almost the age he is in the first movie. They go live with Andy's grandmother. Andy's father, Andy's mother, and Andy's mother's pregnant, moved back to the house where Andy grew up. And Andy stays in the bedroom that his father had as a child. So they were there for a while, and the father got sicker and sicker and sicker. And it's really sad. Oh my God, it's so sad. And Andy's father asked Andy to come in to his room. He was really sick. They had like a little hospital type room. It was like hospice. He knew he was going to die. He didn't want to die in a hospital. He asked his son to come in, and he pulled out his wallet. He pulled out a key, a little key. And you could tell the key, he even said this, you could even tell the key would been there for a long time because the key had left an impression in the wallet, like where the leather had like formed around the key a little bit. He told Andy, go upstairs and go under the certain spot in the attic. I hid a little trunk years ago. Because there's someone in that box that's going to be your favorite deputy. He's going to be your best friend. It says you're going to need a friend, and I want you to have my best friend as a child. So he went upstairs and he got the trunk, brought it down, and walked into his father's room. And he says when he walks in, he says Andy drops the trunk on the floor because he realizes his father had died. Never opened it, but he realized what happened. So, and I said, I can't believe that you would think about something like that. You know, here is Joe Ranft, and he's kind of teary-eyed thinking about it. And he says, I can't believe you killed off Andy's dad like that. And he says, we're Disney. We killed off Cinderella's father in the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, I came out and just said that. And that whole Disney thing. Now, there's something about the Disney thing too. That's a whole other story about Disney didn't quite own Pixar yet. There was a lot of infighting and problem. So the story picks up again where Andy and his mother and their little baby daughter, the baby had been born, returned from the funeral. He comes back and he looks in the room. The room's empty, and Dad's gone. And the trunk's on the floor, and the key is on the dresser. He goes and he gets the key. And he put the key in and opened it. Sheriff Woody, Slinky Dog, and Mr. Potato opened their eyes like they'd been asleep. Didn't know that they'd been asleep that long, but they had slept because Andy promised he'd come back, and they opened their eyes, and there was Andy. Those three thought it was Andy's dad as a child because they were packed up when Andy's dad looked just like baby Andy did now. No idea that any time had lapsed, that it was a different person. And the kid's name was Andy, thought it was the same person. So that story, Toy Story 1, picks up a little after that point. Because up until that baby, the little baby daughter, the sister, about 12 months they lived with Andy's grandmother, who we don't see. We don't see Andy's grandmother. But Andy's mother moved back to his family house, and Andy's grandmother was still alive. All the furnishings in that house in Toy Story 1 are all old furniture. Those are all old furnishings from when Andy was a child, right? And I said, how come the moving truck was empty? Now here I'm talking to the writer. How come when Sheriff Woody and Buzz have to swoop down into that moving truck, why is it almost empty? Does it make any sense that was empty? So I said that because I thought they were mistakes. And he said, that's not a mistake. No, it's not a mistake. He said that when they were poor and they lost their house, in Seattle, I don't know why he chose Seattle, but he mentioned specifically Seattle. He said all the house's belongings there were packed up in storage. Because Andy's mother's house was fully furnished, Andy's mother, young Andy, the Andy in Toy Story 1, his grandmother's house is where they lived. So they put everything in storage. When they moved, they took very little. They didn't need anything from Andy's grandparents' house because they had everything from their original house. They sold everything off. They sold the family house. They didn't get everything out of it to sell the house. Because he said there was another sibling that we didn't see. There was another person that would be getting part of Andy's parental home. And there was enough money left to buy a nice house and start a new life. That is the house in Toy Story 2, is that house, the house they moved to. And the only things they took were the father's trunk and some of the toys, right? Andy's mother, grandmother, the mother of the one that died of polio, post-polio syndrome. When he pulled that trunk out, she recognized Sheriff Woody. She said, oh my gosh, this is the Sheriff Woody doll that Andy had as a child. We thought we burned this. That's how Andy Jr. knew what his name was. How else would he know his name? And that, he said this is one he had as a child, which says it's the one and only one that originally existed that they thought burned. And, you gotta forgive me for a second. This is really sad. There's so many sad things that happened with me with this discussion. And so I said, but what happened? What, why did he have his first birthday and not be depressed? Right? It says because, oh my God, it's so sad. It says his birthday was coming and he was really depressed. His first birthday without dad. And the mother held up Sheriff Woody and says, remember what your father said, that as long as you have Sheriff Woody, he'll always be your best friend. And as long as you have Sheriff Woody, there'll always be some part of me right next to you. I'll always be here for you as long as you have Sheriff Woody. So it cheered him up and it made him feel like, Sheriff Woody was there. The dad was there. That's why there's a sister that's only about 16 months old. That's the whole story. He told me the whole prequel. And I said, I can't believe that you planned all this. You planned all of this before you did Toy Story 1. And he said, well, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. Specifically, remember him saying that. That was years before Cars came out. And I was so surprised. I'm so upset about some of these. So I watched Pixar Cars in the theater the first time. And Mater says that. And at the end of the movie, there's a writing credit for Joe Ranft. Joe Ranft did the voice of one of the characters. He was alive in the early production of that movie. And he died during the production, I guess, of Cars, or right after it wrapped. And that line was in Cars. The very line he told me, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. He said that from the very beginning when Toy Story was written, that was all his intention. And I said, does everyone else at Pixar knows this? And he said, well, I don't know what they know. All I know is what I know. He's the nicest guy. Oh my God. The reason I even knew him, guys, is that he collected magic tricks. And I collected toys. I had a huge toy collection. He loved little old-fashioned little magic things like little birds in cages that would disappear and the bandanas you'd pull out. And I used to send him magic books. And I just ran across one of them. I just ran across one of those books. That's one of the reasons that made me think of telling this, is I would find him these cool books of magic, and I'd send them to him. And he'd send me swag. Oh, you know what he did send me? I know it's just awful. I was so upset when I heard he had died. But he sent me some swag. He sent me Toy Story stuff. And he sent me a prototype. Sheriff Woody, Sheriff Buzz. The ones that were made before they were ever manufactured. And he says he sent them to me. I still got the card. He sent them to me. And he said, these are from my favorite deputy, Mike Mozart. And I got them. I have the prototype Woody and the prototype Buzz here. I've shown them on my live blog TV show in the past. They're not handy or I'd get them out right now. But he sent me some other things too like that. I told him I never wanted anything for the stuff I gave him, but those are something real special to me. I'll show them to you. It's but I have them. They changed them. The prototypes were changed from production. They would have been the Sheriff Woody, the common plush with the wires inside, bendable. You pull the string on his back toy. They changed it from the prototype a little bit because I had to pass toy safety, and the Buzz Lightyear's changed too. But I have the original toys. I have the first original prototypes. And he said that nobody deserved these more than me, and he addressed it to my favorite deputy. I'm sorry, it's just a lot of things happened. And I have a nice card from him. I didn't cut my beard like this at the time. I cut it just like Al from Al's Toy Barn. I didn't have any hair here, any hair here. I had the mustache and the beard. And I have a drawing he made of me that says, to the real Al. That's why I always thought, in a lot of ways, I was sort of Al, because I had a huge toy collection before I ever met him. And he was fascinated by my toy collection and my catalog collection and everything. And he asked me a lot of questions about toys, especially rare toys and what made them rare and what toys were interesting. And I had a toy. I told him about a story about toys that came to life called The Gingham Dog and the Calico Cat. It's an old poem. And I sent him a book of toys that came to life. It was like Pied Piper. And the toys came to life in a town at night and roamed the city. And I gave him a copy of that book, and I have another copy. I found another copy of it sitting around here somewhere. So, wow. I think that in a lot of respects, I probably inspired Al in a lot more ways because I was very overweight at the time. I mean, Al looks like the guy that voiced him. Okay, it's very similar. But I just happened to have... Will you wait while I see if I can put my hands on my glasses I wore at the time? I have my original glasses, and I don't know if they're where I think they are, but if they're there, I had glasses that looked just like Al's from Al's Toy Barn. Those were very uncommon glasses in the 1990s. Nobody wore glasses like this. 1993, 94, whatever. No one had these glasses. Let me see if I have them because you tell me what you think when you see these glasses. Hold on a second. Just wait a second. They could be in this drawer here or they could be in another room. If they are, and I can't promise that they are, but I'm going to take a quick look. I know I ran across them just recently. Just recently I found that pair of glasses. Don't go anywhere for 1 second. And follow me on Instagram, Mike Mozart. Mike Mozart on Instagram. It's really important. I need people's help there. I found them. Who wants to see the biggest nerd of 1992? Nobody wore these glasses. I found an old antique pair of these that I had modern lenses put in 1992. This is what I was wearing throughout the 90s. I had two similar styles of glasses to this, but look at this. Who does those glasses look like? I mean, really? Couldn't believe I ran into these. I put some pictures up on myself wearing them a little while ago. They're dirty. I got to clean them. These are the glasses I would have worn when I was going out to Pixar and talking and meeting with this guy at the time. My beard was cut just like Al from Al's Toy Barn. And I weighed a lot more. It's a lot bigger than that. What do you think? Isn't that something? Look at Al from Al's Toy Barn. Look at the way the glasses look. The same everything, the same color and everything. Let me put these aside for a second. So, yeah, I have the prototype toys from him. I have a few things he sent me, but it was an interesting story. It's one I haven't told. I've left some details out. There's a lot of details out. Oh, hi, Gordon. There's a lot of details, and I'll make a short video. Well, probably a longer video than this, but I'll tell the whole story. And it's not fan fiction. It's not invention. It's what was told to me over a very special hour and a half at a lunch. Wow. I went out. One of the last times I saw Joe Ranft was he promised he would take me around Pixar's studio at the time, and they were in flux. Pixar was in real flux at that time. There was a lot of fighting between them and Disney. They were moving out of the Apple campus. They were actually part of Apple. They were actually in the Apple campus, the Apple Computer complex. They weren't part of Disney then, really. I don't really know what happened, and he didn't really go into it. But he said, now's not the time to come in. Okay, right in the middle that we're moving, things are changing. Let's go out to eat. And we went to a diner that was called The Hidden. I don't know what it's called. They show the same diner at the beginning of Monsters, Inc. You go to Monsters, Inc., and right in the beginning of it, there's a diner. That diner was right next to the Pixar headquarters. I couldn't believe it. There's the diner right there. And no, it's not Pizza Planet. It's Hidden City Cafe. That's where he told me the whole story. And the walls were all covered with artwork, Pixar artwork. Everywhere. Pixar artwork everywhere, all over the walls. And we had lunch, and he told me everything about, he answered all my questions about what, he apologized. He wanted to take me in to see Pixar and all this, but he said, it's just not the same place. Everything's changing. This is not the time to go in there. Why don't you just hang out here? And we'll have a great time. We'll have a great lunch. And I forgot to have him sign those discs. They had just released the Toy Story 1 and 2 on a special edition DVD set with a third disc. It was a box set, and I wanted to have him sign it, and I forgot. Because I was so enraptured by the story. And next time I go live, I will show you the prototypes. Prototypes are amazing. You'll all be very thrilled. And I do have I wrote down a lot of this years ago. I sat down and forced myself to write down every detail that I could remember. And I have all the details. And I'm going to make a wonderful video to share with you guys with all the details. I've left some things out. And it should have been the prequel. They should have done a prequel of Toy Story. And if Disney wants to make the prequel, I don't claim any right to any of this. This is as it was told to me. This was told to me this way. And if they want it, it's all theirs. You know, I hope they do something with it, because it's too bad that all this information's there of why, the why and the what and the how and everything that happened. And it's just a shame that it would disappear into history and people wouldn't know what he thought. And maybe what he did or didn't share with the rest of the staff. Yeah. I'm trying to see the comments. They go by really fast for me. Again, I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing I have a lot of stories like that, guys. I've had a very interesting life. One of the things I really need is people to follow me on Instagram, Mike Mozart. Due to a problem I'm having there, where I went public as being a ghost artist behind another artist, and it's not too good for me right now, and I really need support. And I know that I can count on the YouTubers out there to support me. I've made a lot of people happy and mentored a lot of people and did everything I could to help people out. And I never asked for help, but this is like one time I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out. And I have a lot more. I'm sorry I'm plugging that right now too. It isn't like me to ask people to do something for me. Whenever I've done videos like this, or talk to people, it's someone needs our help. Let's go help them. Really, that's been my whole life. Is how can I help other people out? You know, and this isn't something I normally would even ask for. I have a lot more stories to tell. And I haven't told a lot of my stories. I did tell a story that was wonderful. It's Kenny from Blog TV went by. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's one of my fans from years ago. I really enjoyed Kenny from Blog TV. But I had just a few more. The story of Alec Monopoly and me, I will tell on another night. I really don't even want to mention his name. I'll make a video that sort of outlines it. That's a long, complicated story. And a lot of times I'll tell people the story and they'll say, why did you help this person out for so long? You were so stupid. Why'd you waste your time? Because I help a lot of people. It's not just him. There's a lot of other artists out there, other people I help, a lot. And he's just one of many people. I just didn't expect it to turn out like it did. I created a monster. That's the perfect expression. I created a monster. And I need protection from that monster right now. That monster is let's just say there's not a lot of thankfulness going on there. There's no thankfulness. And all I am is a liability. I'm a problem, a dangerous problem. And all I want to do is just help people. Hi, Kenny. Oh, my God. Kenny was one of my favorite people on Blog TV. I co-hosted Kenny, and Kenny this girl would do these Kenny voices. It was really cute. But, boy, stories. I have so many stories to tell you guys. The work I did for a company called Coleco. Coleco did Cabbage Patch Kids, Rambo toys, A lot of licensed toys. They did Wuzzles and Care Bears. They did all the Alf toys from the TV show Alf. And I was there doing artwork for all the different divisions right when the company imploded and died. What a nightmare that company was. It was the most fascinating thing to ever happen to a human being, to witness this implosion from the inside. Because I worked for all the different people in the different divisions, and I never saw anything just crumble. When Coleco went bankrupt, they had Cabbage Patch Kids at the height of the popularity of Cabbage Patch Kids. They had the license for Alf toys at the height of the popularity of Alf. They had Rambo toys when Rambo was popular. And they still went bankrupt. He still crumbled. I did a lot of work years ago for the Lego Toy Company in Enfield, Connecticut. I did a lot of artwork for a Lego Toy Company. And I've got great stories, all nice stories. I can't think of a bad story of the Lego Toy Company. I wouldn't even know where to begin to even think of a bad one. Well, I take it back. I do know a bad story. But that's a whole nother story. One night I'll tell you the bad story of Lego Toy Company. But I'll have props. I'll have the toys to show you. And I still haven't made a video about that. At least I love telling stories because my life has been very adventurous. I've been all over the world. I've been to China, Hong Kong, the Philippines. I've been all over this country. I sold products for years on QVC and the Home Shopping Network. I used to appear in infomercials. I knew Billy Mays, the infomercial guy that used to go out and pitch products. And I did everything. I have done everything and been everywhere and enjoyed every minute of it. Some of it was scary, but it was exciting. Everything was always exciting. I knew Billy Mays very, very well, and his death was very surprising, and it was reported wrong. It sort of hurt me because whenever you look at my YouTube, if you ever look at my YouTube videos, I always start them the same way. This is Mike Mozart of the Toy Channel and Jeepers Media on YouTube, back again with the coolest products of yesterday and today. Do I say toys? I say products. Because I was an infomercials pitch person. I appeared on infomercials selling products I designed. And I always had that intro in my commercials. And damn if there's not one of them on YouTube that I'm aware of. I'm going to try to upload a bunch of my old infomercial to YouTube because I did those up until about 1998. YouTube wouldn't come around for another 6 years. Some of the early ones have shown up that I didn't voice, but they're my products, okay? One of the important ones is Ben DeRue's, which is on Instagram, my Instagram account, Mike Mozart on Instagram. You can go there, and I have uploaded one of my Ben DeRue's commercials. There's like 12 of them. They're on YouTube because those came late. Those came in the 2000s when YouTube had already started. And I also had another one that was very big is the Crayola. I did a lot of Crayola products. I did the Crayola marker airbrush set, Crayola Color Wonder. I did 70 different Crayola products. I did a lot of them. And I have samples of all of them. I have my original prototypes I sculpted for them. I have the original drawings I made to design the products. So you're going to see a lot of that. I'm posting it on my Instagram. And I'm going to be making YouTube videos. I'm finally going to tell people about the toys I made. So you get to see, wow, he made a lot of toys. And I have done a lot of toys. And I never really talked about the toys I made. Okay? Something kind of interesting is that, I have this big beard, which I never let grow out really. But the funniest thing is, I have like no hair on my arms. I have got like the furriest face on the planet, yet never had hairy arms or hairy legs. I just want to say that. It's something that always was funny to people. Like, how come your arms don't have like any hair, but your face is like a bush? Oh my God. And it's real too. And it grows a lot bigger. It's cut short now. If you look on if you Google Mike Mozart beard, you'll see it grows fast. This grows really fast. It grows like an inch a week. When you got a beard that grows an inch a week, you can keep cutting it all different ways. which I did all the time. And it's my beard is unusual because it's soft and straight. Do you notice how my beard is soft and straight? It's like hair on your head is soft and straight. So my beard is soft and straight because when it's like that, you can try 50 different styles. You can make it look like anything. And I did. I made it a lot of different ways. We have dyed it blue, where my beard was blue for a while. It's been a lot of different styles and looks. This is the way it just grows. It isn't layered. This is just the way it grows naturally. All I do is maybe trim a little on the bottom right now because I want it to grow long. I do trim the sides off because it grows, and once it grows, like that grows out. So I cut it sort of flat like that. The big situation. Ha ha ha. I got quite an apology from those idiots, and that did turn out to be kind of interesting. I probably cost them millions and millions of dollars, which I'm very happy about. And you will see Spunky on one of the live shows. Okay, she will be around. She's very old. She walks around good. She can even run around a little bit. Okay, but if everyone knows Cocoa Puff passed away. But one of Cocoa Puff's sisters is still alive. Still alive. And do I cut it myself? I don't do anything to it. All I do is trim off the bottom. And then I'll take like scissors and usually trim a little bit here so it doesn't just go because it grows like that. I do shave this. I shave this off. It grows right to here, like the corner of my nose all the way back here. But if I let my beard grow that far up on my face, I don't have cheeks. I don't look like I smile. That's something so weird. If anyone whose beards grow up high on their cheeks like this high, they don't look like they ever smile. They always look like this. It's really funny. If when I go live again, I will have some pictures queued up on an iPod Touch I can hold up so you can see a whole bunch of pictures, which you'll really enjoy. You'll see what I look like when I let my everything grow out, like grow up my cheeks and my eyebrows and everything. They wanted me on a movie. They wanted me to appear in a movie. And that's a whole nother story. I don't know why. I just keep getting offered movies, but I decide I don't want to be in them. But they wanted people that could grow a big natural beard and get really furry looking, for a movie. And it was a period movie in the 1850s, filmed in Connecticut a while ago. And the producers asked me, would you let your beard and mustache grow out for like a month so we get an idea of what it looks like? Because we understand it grows up. We've seen pictures of you growing way up here. You have these big eyebrows. Would you grow it out? Could be kind of cool for the movie. So I let it grow out for about a month and a half, about 3 years ago. Oh my God. It was almost embarrassing to go in public. I would go in public and people would think it was a costume. They thought it was a mask. They didn't think it was real. Like no human being could look like that. My Twitter is Jeepers Media on Twitter. Jeepers Media on Twitter. And I'm looking at all this. We got a lot of trolls here too. That's good. I like trolls. Trolls are some of the best people in the long run. Good trolls. I never post on Snapchat. We've got some good ones here. Congratulations. I don't ban trolls, by the way. I like trolls because trolls can be used for good too. And I'm going to need some people that are excellent trolls real soon to help me out. And isn't it nice to take trolling and gear it towards something that can really make some change? So kind of fun. The Viacom thing turned out great. They settled with YouTube because of all those videos I made. They settled. Remember they were suing YouTube? They settled. I showed that they were the ones behind file sharing and everything else. They crawled right back under their stinking rock. Alki David sued Viacom, CBS, and all those people and won. So they crawled back under their rock. That's why they don't go after kids anymore. I never use my Facebook. I was not a big Facebook person. And who's even watching commercial? How many people out there even have commercial television anymore? I mean, really, who's watching TV? I don't watch it anymore. And I'm going to start doing the toy reviews again almost immediately. So that'll be a lot of fun. Stringy's good. He works here sometimes. He was in tonight to help me set up a live show. He said he would appear in it, but of course he didn't, because that's what he does. He's will-o'-the-wisp. And it's hard to read the comments because they go by so fast, but every one of you, I really appreciate you being here tonight. Really made it special. You got to hear one of my stories, the Toy Story story, which I will make a real nice video of. And I left a lot of details out. There's a lot of details in that story. And it was a very special moment, a very special story. And it was told to me by the writer, Toy Story writer, one of the main writers of it. So he had an idea of exactly what happened, and he shared it with me. I'm lucky he did, because he doesn't really, might not have existed unless he told me. I'm looking at the comments going by. It's very, very difficult to see. I know. Well, at least you can come watch my live shows. You can check out my beard growth. I've decided to let it grow out some. There's pictures of me online. Oh, I have a little piece of paper up here to shield the camera from the overhead lights. But I have, you can message me. The best way to message me is through Instagram messages. I do check Instagram messages a lot. Okay? And I haven't checked my YouTube messages in like a year and a half or 2 years. I'm getting back to it right now. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of stories. I'm going to be sharing a lot of my toys that I've had that you don't know about. Great toys. And yes, my beard has become very famous. And I never expected that. Again, I would have grown this beard out like this when I was doing the toy reviews, except nobody had beards. Nobody. Even the fact that I had a 5 o'clock shadow beard. Remember, I had a really short beard? The only reason that beard was there is because if I didn't have a 5 o'clock shadow beard, I would look like I never shaved. It grows so fast. If I shave at 9 o'clock in the morning smooth, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it looks like I didn't shave at all. I always looked like hell, like I just rolled out of bed. So you have to let it grow up a little bit. I have to let it grow out a little bit to look like something. Yeah, direct message me on Instagram. That's the best place to get a hold of me. I have, wow. I still have all the toys. I have lots more new fail toys. I have a lot of paintings. Remember, I'm an artist and a painter. I love looking at artwork. Instagram is a great place if you're an artist. It's a great place to sell art and get it seen by people that want to buy artwork. I cannot advise you enough. If you're an artist and you want to get seen by people that buy artwork, go on Instagram. Use hashtags on Instagram if you're an artist. Put hashtag art, hashtag pop art, hashtag original art. Because people do look for those names. They really do use hashtags there big time. You really need to use them there a lot. Put 50 hashtags, as many hashtags as they'll let you put it on, because you want people to find your art. That's the way to get found. And I like to help people too. And I'll push people towards looking at your artwork if I can. Remember, I'm really busy right now because it's really tough with all the art I have and my problems I'm having with He Who Must Not Be Named. Right? I know I should get a new puppy and I haven't. I really want a puppy. I still have Spunky, but I have to get some water. Hold on a second. If I don't get to your messages on Instagram, please forgive me. I'm doing what I can because there's so many people that message me on all my social media. I would say that, wow. On Instagram, about half of the paintings I do, I don't post on Instagram. I don't post anywhere because I have too busy. I have another interesting thing that you will find very funny. Is I go on Twitter all the time. I tweet all the time. I am famous online for something that is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I never expected it would turn into this. Google Mike Mozart and Flickr. You know how Flickr is spelled without the E? The video sharing site, the picture sharing site, Flickr. I have posted 80,000 Creative Commons pictures on Flickr. And they are used every single day by every major newspaper and news source, video source, print newspapers, online blogs, online news, because I took pictures of products and pictures of Walmarts and Targets and Kmarts and all those places. And my And every time I take pictures, say if I go to a Walmart and I take pictures of a Walmart front so people could use it in a blog or a news report, I always take selfies of myself wearing a hat that says Mike Mozart on it to prove I took the pictures. Because I release them under Creative Commons, I want people to know I actually took that picture because here's a selfie of me with it. The selfie pictures are Creative Commons as well. These news sites and these people all use my picture as the selfie picture. So it'll be a story about Walmart stock going up. It'll be me like this, with a big smile on my face right in front of it. Isn't that funny? So, yeah, I'm sure I influenced Al from Al's Toy Barn. I'm sure I was a big influencer. But I gotta drink water. I know, I was gone for so long. Yes, I am clickbait. It's so funny you said that. I am sent pictures of myself every single day through my social media. Mike Mozart, you're clickbait. Mike Mozart, look at this. And I'll get pictures where people have gone to like Facebook or something, and there's my picture like this, And it says, no, they'll do a screenshot, and it says, hot single mature men are waiting for you. This says, contact Jim. He's 3.8 miles away. It's like because they're Creative Commons pictures. And they're all taking my pictures and doing that. And it's all the time. Something, too, that you're going to find very interesting is somebody mentioned Carl Barks. Carl Barks is one of the greatest artists and the originator of Uncle Scrooge. I have one of Carl Barks's easels. I bought one of Carl Barks's easels, and I have it here, and I actually use it to paint on. It's not in this room, but I actually have one of his easels. I bought one from his estate. So I feel like that's magical to me. It's like I derive energy from having his easel. And people are saying, turn your head so we see the beard better. Now, my mustache is trimmed back. I usually keep it like a handlebar. Hi, Kenny. I saw that earlier. It's so nice to see you that you're here. I had to point to it. I usually have it at a point. It's not pointed tonight. See how my beard points? My mustache points? My mustache grows out. I can make my mustache that long if I let it grow for a couple months. There's pictures of that online. If you search Mike Mozart beard, you'll see some. It's so funny to see it like this long. But I don't let it grow that long because if it droops, it just droops down. It looks so weird. And I keep forgetting to put the wax and stuff in it to keep it up. How do you crumb the crumbs out? All the time. I mean, really all the time. And people have asked. I have advice for people. A lot of people wish. I wish I had a beard like yours. How'd you make your beard thick like that? It was where I was born. But I did notice something. I mean, really. That, no, Cocoa Puff passed away a few years ago. I'm really sorry to say. But what happens is I notice guys had really thin, scraggly beards or just grow a little bit of beard here or like hardly anything. I notice once they start going to the gym and working out and lifting weights, not cardio, but lifting weights. I've seen guys with like little chin pubes with nothing come full beards like mine in 6 months just because they started lifting weights. There's got to be something attached to that, I think. And when I've had different blood tests for things over the years, my blood testosterone level is twice as high as it should be. It's not a good thing. But they assume that's why my beard grew in so fast. But I have like no arm hair. It's just the strangest thing. No arm or leg hair, but I got this beard like that doesn't stop. And it grows fast. It grows so fast. Something else too is not only does my beard grow really, really fast, it grows an inch a week. It grows like wildfire. It has been it's hard to explain this, but this beard has actually been studied. They actually did a study on this beard. What they did is they actually put markers on my beard to see how fast it grew around my face and took DNA from my skin because I have an unusual beard that's all the same color and it's like hair on your head. The reason they did it is they think maybe this is a way to get to figure out why my beard's growing so well here. Maybe they can grow hair here. So they're trying to think that that could have something to do with it. It's a long story. But I really appreciate everyone that came tonight. It made me very happy. I have more stories, a lot more stories. The rampant bootlegging of Lego toys. Well, that's a whole nother story too. I know a lot about that. Thank you all for coming here. It really made my night. Please, please, please follow me on Instagram. I'm going to really need some help really soon. And I know that my fans and the people on YouTube are some of the greatest friends, the biggest fans, the biggest supporters, and I could really use that. I've got great ghost stories. But my ghost stories are real. I have some real ghost stories. And I've told a few of them. I told one. It's on this channel, the toy channel. It's called The Christmas Ghost Story. It's one of the very few stories I've told where I sit and just tell a story into a camera. And unfortunately, I cry at the end of it. I didn't expect I would cry. I was so sick too. It was a story about Christmas. I mean, I could tell the story now, but it's pretty late. I'll tell it another night. I'll tell you live. And it was my whole life has been like that. My grandmother used to have a name for people like me. When I was young, things just happened to me. Not that they're bad, not that they're great, just crazy things that never happen to normal people. People that just never have a normal life. It's not bad, but it's just never normal. And my grandmother used to call it a semi-charmed life. She said when I was growing up, the expression is if you were really lucky and made money and were happy your whole life, you lived a charmed life. But she said when she was growing up as a child, like in the 1890s, that was called a semi-charmed life. It was a great life, but. That's my life. A great life, but. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's great. It's exciting and different. And that Christmas toy story I tell is one of those stories. And in my messages, which I haven't responded to forever, YouTube messages, for years, people have wanted to buy the rights to that story. They want to buy the rights to it, and Hallmark Channel wants to make a movie of it. Do you know the Hallmark? You know the Hallmark cable channel has like the Hallmark Ghost Channel or something like that? Are you aware of this? They have this channel that's all about ghosts and mysterious things and angels and all that. So they wanted to license it for a movie, and I just never got back to them. I know, can you believe that? So I did I haven't done it yet, and I'm going to, if for some reason I license that for a movie to be made out of it, all the proceeds will go to a shelter for women or something. I'll never take money for it. Yeah, it's like the Mysteries Channel or something. And if you want to see it, it's on this channel. It's called The Christmas Ghost Story. And it's one of my remarkable things that's happened in my life. Like, only me. The man with the semi-charmed life. It's funny, they came out with a song called Semi-Charmed Life in the 80s. This is the only other time I've ever heard it used. But, man. And, wow. I will talk to you all soon. This has been great. I really appreciate you being here tonight. Follow me on Instagram. I'll do Instagram Live. I will be doing live on Periscope on Twitter. I haven't done it yet. I will be doing Jeepers Media Live as soon as I can get back into that channel, which I seem to be locked out of. I'm working at it. And I will be here. I'll be here a lot more. And this worked just fine, and I could read the comments going by. I couldn't paint. I was going to paint for you guys, show you how I paint. But I'll definitely be doing that on Instagram. Probably tomorrow afternoon I'll be painting live on Instagram, so you could actually watch me actually make paintings. And I'm really happy to paint in front of people and give people advice and teach them how to paint or anything they need, okay? So thanks again. I appreciate everyone that followed me on Instagram. Mike Mozart on Instagram. I really appreciate that you guys followed me there. Especially right now. I really need some support right now. Nothing bad, but I'm having a trying, difficult time because of someone I helped, somebody I made a millionaire. And I would have never believed it in 100 million years. Hey, you guys, any of you guys out there, do you think if I made you a multi millionaire with tens of millions of dollars and Rolls Royces and Ferraris and everything, do you think that you would hate me for having done it? My God. Jeez. You'll just go back on Instagram and you'll find out all about it. The story's explained, especially about a year ago. Money ruins people. I have to say, in my life, I have seen it time and again. The nicest people, people that you help, people that you see, as soon as they get tons and tons of money, a lot of them turn bad. My whole life has been to give away as much money as I got, as fast as I can do it, to help other people. Because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be one of those people that live their life for money and greed and power and hurting people. It always turns to hurting people. And not all the time. I can't say all the time. I helped 2 other artists that are hugely bigger than Alec Monopoly. Said the name. He who must not be named. But, wow. But I buy more toys if I was a millionaire. I have bought all the toys that anyone would ever want to own. I have the best toy collection on the planet here. I'm very happy with my collection. They're here. I just don't have them dragged out tonight. I will be taking them out so you can enjoy them. And I don't do any political things. I'm not going to talk about politics here. I don't ever talk about politics. There's too many other people out there doing that. Why would I jump on that bandwagon? There's too many important things going on in the world that aren't politics. But politics distracts everyone from other issues. I just do the issues that have nothing to do with politics that they're being distracted from. And I try to point at them and say, well, something's got to be done about this. Everyone forgot about that, you know. So I'm one of those people. I really like that. Somebody asked my favorite toy. Wow. It's on this this YouTube channel. It's on this YouTube channel. It's called wow. Just so tired and groggy right now. Astrolite. A toy called Astrolite. It was my favorite toy as a child. I still have my original Astrolite. It's sort of like Light Bright, except that you build cities that light up. It's like you build the Wizard of Oz's castle, and it lights up just like Light Bright, except the panel is flat, and you build on top. You build a city upwards. So beautiful. I'm going to be doing the fail toys again. I got lots of new fail toys saved up. And, yeah, I've got all the Furbies. I've got so many toys. I'm trying to see the comments going by. So funny, when you have a lot of mustache, it looks like you have like 1 or 2 little teeth, see? Because the mustache sort of hangs down in front of your mouth, no matter how hard you try. The fidget spinners. There have been fidget spinners for years that have come and gone. They're all fidget spinners. I will see Cars 3 the moment it comes out. I will see the fidget spinners have had so many similar things preceding it. They've always been popular. They've always done the same things. Again, the comments are going by really fast and it's really hard to see. Podcasts, just time. People that do podcasts need to do regular shows. And when I did my live blog TV shows, oh, Pokemon Go, you had to bring that up. Just want to know, I'm a Pokemon Go master. I'm one of the few people that still plays it, I guess. And I have almost the entire 2nd generation. I'm just waiting for the legendaries to come out now and to travel around the world more so I can get the ones that are region unique. But I have them almost all again already. That was a lot of fun. And what level am I? 34? Level 34. And I have everything. I have a lot of Dragonites. Now, where I am in Connecticut is like filthy with Dragonites. There's like Dragonites everywhere. And I have like 20 Dragonites. It's just coincidence. I keep running into them. But I'll be doing the live shows. No, the Mewtwo isn't out yet. People are bored with the game because they didn't have any cool characters. All that is Pidgeys and Weedles, and even now, even with the 2nd generation, the stuff sucked. Yeah, people are getting banned on Pokemon Go that are doing nothing wrong. And it's turned into this one big money-making scheme. I'm still playing it. I think it's going to turn into something. I think it's going to turn into something pretty big. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than people think. A lot of the channels that are toy channels now on YouTube are more spam than reviews. They'll go and buy as many toys as they can. They just show their hands and they talk about the toy and unwrap it. They put up 50 of those and they use every possible keyword, and including Jeepers Media, the toy channel, Mike Mozart, whatever. And they basically spam the channels. I mean, there's somebody that does Kinder eggs. They must have 15 channels. This one group of people owns like 15 channels that basically just do Kinder eggs. How could I do a review of Kinder eggs and get seen? It'd be almost impossible. So it's tough now. The only way to do it now is to provide entertainment when you're doing it. Lucky Penny Shop is one of the people that was popular when I was popular. He's one of the early ones. I know he's doing really well. He's made a good living at it for sure. And just one other odd thing. I'm going to be looking for an assistant to help me with artwork. I've been working without an assistant and I really do need somebody. I'm not saying who's going to be or what's going to happen. I'm in Connecticut, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just mentioning that. Maybe someone knows somebody out there. I'm actually looking for someone that doesn't want to be an artist. Someone that wants just to help me out would be great. Yeah, YouTube is spam and trash and blah, blah, blah. They are, wow. There's so much spam. There's so much over-the-top copying of people's videos. A lot of re-uploads of videos. I'm working at it. And I will come back. I will bring something back, but it'll be unique and nice. It won't be what everyone else is doing. And I think adding some paintings to it and some drawings and, showing the characters that way. What made me really work well with toy reviews is that I like to do the voices of the characters. I like to play with the toys. There's a part in Spaceballs, the movie, where Dark Helmet, if anyone knows Spaceballs, somebody walks in on him and he's playing with little dolls of the characters from Spaceballs. And Colonel Sanders comes in and it says, "I didn't see you playing with your little dolls again, sir." Is there anything funnier than seeing guys go like, "Oh, I'm Barbie, where's Ken? Oh, hi Ken, it's me, let's go play Play-Doh." It's just so funny and stupid to see that happening. That's very entertaining, and people don't do that. That's a lot of fun. I didn't want to go over your helmet here, but the Schwartz is with me. I will look forward to you guys commenting on my Instagram. I really appreciate you being here. I love that Lucky Penny Shop guy is so great. I like him a lot. I haven't seen him in years, but 3 or 4 years ago, we were both reviewing the same toys at the same time. And he wasn't competition. We're both different. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. But when you get 50 channels all owned by the same guy that does 50 toy reviews that are all just damn similar, that are just put up so that they just clog up all the search results, you sort of get a lot of just generic stuff. Who won't show his face? Lucky Penny Shop guy? Yeah, I'm gonna be the new Bob Ross. I want to do paintings like Bob Ross. Yeah, well, it's complicated. It's complicated. I gotta get going to sleep though. Well, sleep. I'll probably get a step and paint. But I will talk to you all soon. I appreciate you being here. I promise great stories. I got a lot of them. You're gonna see great paintings. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be doing Instagram Live. Instagram Live, it shows up as a bubble at the top corner. And I will tweet out, if you follow me on Twitter, Jeepers Media, when I go live. I'm going to try to start doing a regular show, too, for you guys. Okay? And I'll have toys. I'll make sure I cart out some toys. And I'll try to get my beard groomed a little bit more. It's a little shaggy tonight. It grows real fast. Look at pictures of me. They're all different shapes and sizes. Thanks again. Good night. This is the first time I've ever turned off a show. I don't even know where I see it says finish. It doesn't say stop, it says finish. I'll see you later. Remember, Instagram, I really need your help there. Tell all your friends, and I'll be back here hopefully tomorrow. If I can come on tomorrow night, I'll have another great story. I'll show you some toys. You can tell your friends, because I want everyone to know that I'm back and that I'm alive. So many people think I'm dead. Oh my God. Oh, I'm not going to cut the beard off, but I'm going to let it grow. I'm going to let it grow about that much longer. I've had it about this long. It comes in really thick. Really is thick. It's so funny. I'm the real Santa Claus. It is Santa Claus thick. I think I look like Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. There's a lot of pictures of me like that, holding like a Yukon Cornelius toy too. I'll see you later. Thanks so much again. I'm so happy you all came here, and I really appreciate it. And I'll have a great evening, and thanks for remembering me. Thanks for being so kind, and wow, so great that people still came to say hi and gave me such nice comments. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye.